President Trump getting straight to work on his first Monday on the job, signing orders overturning some of President Obama's economic agenda and meeting with top business leaders. This after a tumultuous weekend of protests and a contentious press conference. Trump beginning his presidency in true Trump fashion with decisive action in the face of controversy. Here's my Nightline co-anchor, Juju Chang.
It's going to be only America first.
We will not go away.
It is dangerous and destructive on day one for the press to be reporting false information like that.
From the pulpits of power to the marching of millions.
It took this horrific moment of darkness to wake us the up.
The first 3 days of a new American era, classically Trump. Unconventional and contentious. His first days in office, his top advisors being sworn in.
I state your full name.
From Kellyanne Conway to son-in-law Jared Kushner. Tonight, a new CIA chief confirmed. And on his first Monday in office, a meeting in the Oval with top CEOs from Ford to Whirlpool. 3 presidential memorandums signed on trade, a federal hiring freeze, and cutting funds to global agencies that promote or pay for abortions.
Before I get to a policy question, just a question about the nature of your job.
Yeah.
But it was the briefing with Press Secretary Sean Spicer that everyone was waiting for after that controversial one over the weekend.
This was the largest audience to ever witness an inauguration, period.
Seeming to ignore proof in pictures. Side-by-side images of Obama's 2009 inauguration and Trump's at the same moment in time, though no official numbers were released. But that didn't stop Kellyanne Conway from doubling down on Sunday morning's Meet the Press.
You're saying it's a falsehood, and they're giving Sean Spicer, our press secretary, gave alternative facts to that.
Look, alternative facts are not facts. They're falsehoods.
The internet had a field day. Alternative facts and Spicer facts trending throughout the weekend. Merriam-Webster even tweeting the definition of fact. George W. Bush's press secretary, Ari Fleischer, says Spicer's Saturday briefing had room for improvement.
His briefing made me uncomfortable. It was too truculent, too tough, and frankly now, having watched Monday's briefing, it looks to me if the ball was dropped on Saturday, Sean recovered it today, Monday.
Today, ABC's John Karl going head-to-head with Spicer.
Is it your intention to always tell the truth from that podium, and will you pledge never to knowingly say something that is not factual?
It is.
Do you have any corrections that you would like to make or clarifications of what you said on Saturday?
Sure, well, ask away, Jonathan.
The new press secretary walking back some of his claims.
We were trying to provide numbers that we had been provided. That wasn't like we made them up out of thin air.
But holding firm on others.
31 million people watched it on television. Combine that with the tens of millions of people that watched it online on a device. It's unquestionable.
And pointing the finger at a Time magazine reporter who tweeted erroneously that a bust of Martin Luther King Jr. was removed from the Oval Office.
Think about how racially charged that is. And someone rushes out and says to the entire press corps that the President of the United States has removed the bust from his office.
Spicer had basically a reset to do after what happened over the weekend, coming into this briefing room, lecturing the press, getting a couple of his facts wrong and not taking any questions. Very combative. This was much less combative. There was certainly some combat going on, but definitely a reset in terms of his relationship with the press.
What is unquestionable, the unexpected size and scope of the Women's March on Saturday, dwarfing the inauguration's crowds in Washington and more than 60 cities around the world.
For most of these people, the day started at dawn getting on a bus, and it's now 4 o'clock in the afternoon, 6 hours into the protest, and the enthusiasm is still high.
We are here to be respected.
On the mall, famous faces standing in solidarity.
In the face of this current political climate, it is vital that we all make it our mission to get really, really personal.
The demonstration, for many, it's their first time. A medley of issues: workers' rights, abortion rights, gay rights, immigrant rights.
Refugees are welcome here.
Basically, I am here in support of my mother, my girlfriend, every woman that I know and love, who I feel has been insulted and misrepresented and denigrated by the new president.
Chris Danner traveled here from New York.
That's the one criticism that a lot of that you hear a lot, that you're being sore losers, that you should get behind the president?
Oh, well, on one hand, we are the majority of Americans. I mean, he lost the popular vote by 3 million votes. There is no one claiming that he is not our president, but to voice your opinion is incredibly patriotic and American.
Voices united, collectively trying to get the attention of the new president. Ashley Judd's speech going viral.
I am a nasty woman.
Not as nasty as a man who looks like he bathes in Cheeto
dust.
The poet behind those words, 19-year-old Nina Donovan.
I just thought it was important to remind women, especially people as young as me, there is so much hope and there's still so much respect left in the world.
Hell yeah!
And that's what we need to continue to fight for. You know, not attack each other, but fight, you know, with our words, fight with our peaceful protests.
Millions of people, not only in this country, but all over the world, telling Mr. Trump that his agenda is not the agenda we need for the year 2017 and the future. That women will not be second-class citizens. That we cannot think that climate change is a hoax. I would hope that Mr. Trump got the message that an extremist agenda is not what the people of this country or the world want to see.
The marchers disrupting the president's first full day in office.
The protest organizers say it was too big to march past the White House, but it's just there, you can see it, and you have to wonder if he can hear the chanting of the crowd.
Trump was on his way to the CIA, where he lashed out at the media in front of the memorial wall.
We caught them in a beauty, and I think they're going to pay a big price.
But not everyone was welcome at the party.
Abortion betrays women! Women deserve better!
There's a lot of women who are going to think we don't belong here because our signs say abortion betrays women, but our message is a pro-woman message.
Kristen Hawkins says Planned Parenthood's sponsorship left anti-abortion groups like hers on the sidelines.
Feminism should be the discussion of how is it that we can make sure she never has to choose between killing her child or fulfilling the life of her dreams. That's the discussion we should have, and that's something that I think there's common ground on.
Trump's new D.C. hotel became a de facto target of the marchers.
Shame! 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 Shame!
And so did his supporters. Out on the sidewalk, it was pink hat versus red hat.
I support you. I support you. I support you. And you're great. So put the divide.
Love is supposed to trump hate. This is hate.
Rebecca Koester says she campaigned for Trump and came to D.C. to celebrate his inauguration.
So I went all around the East Coast doing knocking on door to door, and this is my reward, and now they ruined it.
Early Sunday morning, a series of tweets from Trump seemed to indicate the Women's March had gotten under his skin. Watched protests yesterday, but was under the impression that we just had an election. Why didn't these people vote? Celebs hurt causes badly. But later, a change of tone. Peaceful protests are a hallmark of our democracy. Even if I don't always agree, I recognize the rights of people to express their views.
To the extent that President Trump saw this as yet another, in his view, attempt to delegitimize his presidency, he didn't like it. But it was so joyful and so successful that by the end of the weekend, he was tweeting about the importance of dissent.
Welcome to your first day. We will not go away.
Those voices of dissent, a call to arms for the resistance.